Hi guys, this is Wave 618. It's the 21st of March 2018 and it's now midday, 12 o'clock GMT. So just thought I'd do an update on Bitcoin. I'm expecting a good short position soon approaching, so just thought I'd get an update in at this point today. So as you may know already from watching my videos, well, first of all, this is Bitcoin on the 4-hourly chart. So yeah, from watching my videos, you know that I'm projecting a price target around this 3,500 mark, where I expect a large WXY retracement. Today I'm going to zoom in more so on this breakdown of this journey to Y. So this was wave W, this was X, which I believe finished at this level here, and we're now in our Y wave. And within the Y wave, I'm expecting another WXY pattern down, where it looks like W has finished. We're about to finish X. It looks like we may be about to finish X. I will discuss this today in depth in this video. And we're anticipating the next move down, which should be a pretty good short position, which is the Y wave, completing the Y wave of the larger degree. Okay, so let's break this down, and to do this we're going to have to look on the 15-minute chart. I don't like usually looking at these short time frames because patterns quickly get broken on the short time frames, and it's hard to keep giving updates on very short time frames. However, in order to break this down, we do need to look at the short time level. So let's just go on the 15-minute chart. Okay, so I've got, as you can see, some Elliott wave denotation. So this is where X came up to, and so just so you're clear, this is the X of the larger degree, and from here we're making a WXY down to 3,500 roughly. So as I say, W came to around here. We're forming the X now, and the question is, where will it end? Will it end at this level? Will it come higher? That's what we'll be discussing today before it makes its long move down. Now, we do need to break down the wave count that happened all the way from here in order to understand how far it's going to retrace. So it gives clarification that of the wave count, and it's very important to determine retracement. So this was my wave count. So you can see 5 waves down here. Small 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. From that, so that was wave 1 down. Then I make it to be a running flat, which is an A, B, C, and then from there we've got a wave 3, which looks like a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a much extended wave 5. And if we just compare wave 1 to wave 3, we'll see the regular fib extension. So that's wave 1 there, A, B, C. Plot our extension. You can see wave 3 was a 1.618 extension of wave 1. So very typical extension of wave 3. And that it gives further support that this is the end of a wave 3. Now, from the wave 3, if wave 3 started, as I say here, it retraced almost up to the 50% level, yeah, and it was an ABC zigzag pattern that it did it in. Now, how do we project wave 5? It came down to here. But how do we project that? A good way to determine where wave 5 will finish is if we do a fib extension looking at waves from the beginning of from wave 0 essentially, and then plot that all the way to the end of wave 3, and then extend it from where wave 3 retraced to, and you can see it hit the 0.786. That's a common wave 5 target, the 0.786 extension of waves 0 to 3. Also, 0.618 is another common extension, yeah, I always look for trades around these levels, 0.618 and 0.786. 0.786 is a more attractive one if this breaks, because it means it will retrace a lot more. Yeah, there's more to trade. So that's how I got my wave count, 5 waves down. And then you can see a nice ABC pattern. With that ABC, wave C was, I believe, a 1.236 extension of wave A. So wave A came up to here, A, B, C, and there you go, 1.236 extension. So that was your A, that's your B, and that's your C. Yeah. Since then, we've had another 5 legs down. You can see that quite clearly. So you can see an impulsive wave 1 here. Then it's retraced in what looks like a triangle up to here. So the triangle is in an A, B, C, D, E pattern before you get your wave 3. Wave 4 was an A, B, C. And you can see wave 4 did not overlap with wave 1 before it made its final wave 5 down. Yeah. So what we see here is 5 legs, 3 legs, and 5 legs. So this is your first. So this is the wave W of the Y leg down of the larger degree. Yeah. So another reason it finished at this level, if we just do a fib extension down to the end of the first 5 waves down, and then extend that from where that retraced to, which was here, you can see it came to the 0.786. As I mentioned again, the 0.786 is a very good fib level. Yeah, it often shows support and resistance. So it hit that very nicely. If we also look at RSI, there was a lot of divergence. So RSI is a momentum indicator, and when you see a RSI going in the opposite direction to price, for example forming higher lows here, whilst price was forming lower lows, this demonstrates that price is losing momentum, because the RSI is the momentum indicator, which shows higher lows. Yeah, and the fact that price here is showing lower lows means that there's a big discrepancy, which means the move up is going to be strong, and that's why we saw a move up from here. So that's just explaining the RSI there. Another reason why we found support at the 0.786, and that was our turning point. So that's where I got the end, the W wave in here, and then we're forming an X wave, and the question is, where will this X wave retrace to? So first of all, let's try and create some targets. So if this was our W, and we plot a fib retracement, yeah, so if this was our W, we could expect prices to come to this level or this level. Yeah, there'll be very good resistance at both of these levels. So if we just put a couple of price tags, so here or here. So at the 9,500 and 10,000 level, there is good resistance. Yeah. So we could see price coming up to there. Now, another good way to determine where it's going to go up to is just to do a wave count for this wave. So if it's a corrective wave, then we're expecting a 3-legged pattern, and the way I've seen that so far is I could see 5 legs up to here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I see a triangle. I see A, B, C, D, E, and then I see another leg up. So I've labeled it A up to here, B B forming a triangle, and then we're in our C leg. Now where will C go up to? Let's do a fib extension. So if our A wave started here, finished here, then it is triangle A, B, C, D, E, which finished at this level. Yeah, C, we can expect it could go up to the 0.786, as I mentioned. That's a very good fib level. Often you'll see a C extension being a 0.786 extension of wave A. Also as likely is an extension to the 9840, just because that's a 1-to-1 ratio. That's where the length of A would equal the length of C. The 0.618 extension is here. Now it's always good to look at other indicators. You can see the 0.786 coincides with the 50% retracement of the larger of this whole move down. Yeah, so there's good fib resistance at this level at around 9541 to 9500. There is good resistance at this level. This would be a good estimate as to where price may turn around. There are other indicators we'll look at. For example, the RSI. We'll be looking for a loss of momentum in the move. We'll also look at volume coming in. So those are things that we'll be looking out for. Now, as you can see, where price is right now, C is currently a 50% extension of wave A. It's reached this 0.5 level. That's why it's shown a little bit of resistance at this level. Yeah, but 50% is not a typical fib extension. These are much more common, 0.618 and 0.786, with the 0.786 corresponding quite nicely with the 50% retracement of the W wave. Now, it could go even higher. It could go up to the 10,000 level. Yeah, that would be hitting our major downward trend line. Yeah, around this level. So that's it's a possibility, but I don't see enough momentum in the move to make it reach that high. My primary target would be around this 9505 to 9541. Yeah, I'll be looking very closely at RSI, MACD divergence around that level, looking at volume. I'd look for a small impulsive wave down, then wait for a wave 2 retracement before I try and get in on a big wave 3 coming down. So that's the kind of thing I'll be looking out for. Alright, so those are my initial targets for where I'm expecting a short position to be initiated. Another reason we will have found a bit of support at this level, I'll show you another technical analysis tool that you may have seen other traders use. Let's just go on the 4-hourly chart. So I'll just remove these price targets for now. Okay, so there's a tool called the Pitchfork, which you may be familiar with, and it's used for creating channels. So if you can see the start of the move down was from here, and if we do, this was a major turning point here, a major low. So if we plot a point there, and then if we plot another point here, because this was another important level, this is where our X wave was. Now what the Pitchfork does, it shows you regular turning points. Most important line is this line, which we call the median line. I've drawn it slightly bolder than the other lines here. So this is a very important line, and you may find price coming down to this line eventually. But what it does is it shows good lines of support and resistance. And you can see basically these lines are, for example, this one is 50% of the way from the median line and the extreme line here, and these lines are halfway between that line and that line. So basically you've got 8 channels here, and these are basically 25% of the way from the median line to the extremes. So basically that's halfway between the median line and the extreme, and this line is halfway between the extreme and this 50% line here. And you'll find that price often bounces off these lines. That's why it's quite useful. I wouldn't use this indicator on its own. However, you can see why price has found a bit of resistance at this level, this around the 9,200 level. If we zoom in on the 15-minute now, and we can look, yeah, it has actually just broken out of it. Yeah, these lines could be plotted a bit more accurate. Yeah, it has just about broken out, however not convincingly. Yeah, you may find that price just comes straight back down, but that might explain why we're finding a little bit of resistance at this level. So we'll see if it holds or not. As I say, I would be expecting price to go up to that 9,500, 9,550 level. However, don't be too surprised if price reverses from here. There is that pitchfork resistance. However, as I say, the pitchfork alone is not the best indicator, but it's just something I'd put out there. It's quite a useful tool, only in collaboration with other technical analysis indicators though. So to be honest, there's not many other indicators suggesting a turnaround at this point in time right now at this 9,200 level, so I wouldn't advise on getting in just yet. Yeah. But yeah, that's just another technical analysis tool I've put out there. Just it's another string to your bow essentially, which is quite useful to use. Alright, so that's my price forecast. That's what I'm looking out for. Expect things to happen in the next couple of days, and it'll be a nice short position to be honest. But just keep in mind, if we go on the let's go on the hourly chart. Let's get rid of this pitchfork now. Just keep in mind there's many ways you can get corrective patterns. So this X is a corrective pattern of the W coming down. Now it could be just a simple ABC up, or it could be part of a more complex pattern. For example, you can get this ABC, it could be a WXY for example. So we could have 3 legs up. We could have something like this. Yeah. So don't assume just because it starts turning around that we're going to see prices flying down. Don't ever feel like you're going to miss out on the move and get all excited that next stop is 3,500. It can easily come down and turn around to make another slightly higher high. So just keep that in mind. There's lots of different corrective patterns. Corrective patterns are the hardest thing to understand with Elliott wave. Alternatively, we could have a triangle pattern. So we could have this being our A wave, and we could have a B, a C, a D, an E before price comes down. We could see something like that. So there's lots of variations. Don't expect price to just come flying down. There's lots of different variations of how price can make its move. The point is, I don't see it coming much higher than these levels, 9,500, and certainly no higher than 10,000. With the next stop being roughly around the 3,500 level, but we'll have to break this wave count down to determine where it's going to come down to. Yeah, alright guys, I'll leave it at that. That's just a little forecast of what I can expect over the next few days. Alright, so if you're enjoying the content as usual, please like, subscribe and share, and I'll leave it at that. Take care guys.